got 3 more questions left. These are called multi-step equation. Multi-step because they have more than 2 steps. Okay, so we're going to do the same 2 things that we've been talking about. We're going to distribute first, combine like terms of anything that we have, and then we're going to solve it the same way that you just did. Combining and distributing takes that big equation and it simplifies it down into something we can work with. So let's go ahead and look at that. First step says we need to distribute. Our distributing is our 3. He's the only number touching a parenthesis. 3 times 2x makes 6x. 3 times 1 makes 3. And it's a positive, so we put a plus. Nobody else does any distributing, so all I'm going to do is drop them right down beneath where they are. Okay. Our next step is to combine, and we've been talking about combining. We said we got to look for all the x's to go together. 6x plus 2x would make 8 x's. Same thing here. A positive 3 and a minus 10 would make a negative 7. Now, why do you think I did not combine them with the 25? If you said it's because it's on the other side of the equal sign, you are absolutely right. We're going to leave that 25 alone until we start solving, okay? All right, so going into our next step. Who's the loner at the party? That's going to be our 7. So to cancel out a minus, we're going to add 7 to both sides. 7s will cancel, and that will make a 32. 25 plus 7. The 8x just came down. We have one more step in our solving journey. We need to get that 8 out of there. Okay, so in order to do that, we need to cancel it out by dividing. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So we're going to divide by 8. The 8s are going to cancel out, which gives us just 1x. And 32 divided by 8 makes 4. This is our final answer. Okay, I'll give you a chance at the end to come back and fix anything you missed. Number 10. This one's a little tricky. I'm trying to trick you. So if you look on this problem and you say, who's the number next to the parentheses that I can distribute? You might say 3, but you got to be careful. What kind of 3 is that? It's all negative 3. So if I take a negative 3, this whole thing right here, and I distribute, now I have to watch my signs. Negative 3 times 4c makes a negative 12c. Negative 3 times negative 2, well, 2 negatives make a positive when they multiply, so positive 6. Now, we have a lot of pieces that didn't get used. The 7's going to come down, the minus c is going to come down, and the equals 26 is going to come down. What do we look for next? Well, we're going to look and see if there's anything we can combine. I look right ahead at the variables, and it looks like we got a couple c's. So I'm thinking negative 12 minus just 1c. Okay, if you type that in your calculator, you're going to get negative 13 c's. Well, I also have some constants. I have some 7 and plus 6 more. Don't use the 26. He stays away right now. But 7 plus 6 is going to make a positive 13. We're going to bring down our 26 that we haven't used yet, and we are ready to start solving. So at the party, I want to know who the loner is. 26 isn't at the party, so my loner has to be that plus 13. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 13 from both sides. What I do to one, I have to do to the other. Bring down what we have left, negative 13c. And then 26 minus 13 leaves us with a regular positive 13. We have one more step in this problem. We need to get c by itself, which means getting rid of this guy. I want you to make a note right here. This is not subtraction. Okay? That is saying negative 13 times c. That's a multiplication. So how do I cancel multiplication? I need division. So we're going to divide by a negative 13 on both sides. Again, not subtraction, it's division. So if I type that in my calculator, 13 divided by a negative 13, that's going to give me a 1, except it will be negative in this case. So my answer is negative 1. Okay. All right, last problem. Starting with distributing, I'm looking for any number that is touching the parentheses. But there is no number. So how am I supposed to get rid of parentheses if there's no number to distribute? Well, let's look real close. If I had to put a number right here, it would be negative what? Okay. I call it a ninja one. And if you want to write that, you are welcome to. I call it a ninja one. There is always a number on touching a parentheses if you see one. If you can't see the number, it's a negative 1. Okay? So let's go ahead and distribute that. Negative 1 times 2x. That's going to give us negative 2x. And a negative 1 times another negative. That's going to make a positive 3. Again, 5x didn't do anything yet. 7 didn't do anything. And neither did the 40. So what's our second step? We're looking for things to combine. I see 5x's and a minus 2x. 5 minus 2, we probably don't need a calculator. That's going to give us 3x's. 3 plus 7, not the 40, just 3 and 7. Probably don't need a calculator. That's going to give us 10. Once we have combined everything possible, we are ready to solve. So at the party, who's the loner? It's not the 40. 40's not at the party. It's not the 3 because 3's the best friend. He's stuck to x. So it's got to be the 10. To cancel out addition, we're going to subtract on both sides. What I do to one, I have to do to the other. So we are left with 3x equals 30. We have one more step in order to make sure we get our answer all the way done. How do I get rid of the 3? Well, it's multiplying, so I need to divide. And what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Those 3's are going to cancel out. 3 divided by 3 makes 1, so I have just 1x. 30 divided by 3, we get lucky. It's a whole number. X is our 10. Okay? I'm going to zoom out. If you missed anything on those problems, go ahead, take a second, pause the video so you can see it. There's 11, there's 10, and there's